Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Jordan. Thank you for being here. And I'm back with another episode on why you shouldn't believe everything you hear when lies travel faster than truth. Some people don't speak from truth. They speak from ego, from rejection, from guilt, from the need to be seen as right or cool. And sometimes they share their version of events, not because it's honest, but because they think it makes them look better. Because some people are unfortunately so emotionally immature that they genuinely believe that painting certain narratives will win them sympathy, status, or control. Don't you think it's wild how fast a lie can spread when someone's pride is bruised? And all of a sudden, you become the villain in a story you never even agreed to be a part of. They conveniently forget to mention the manipulation, or the blurred boundaries, or the trust that got shattered behind closed doors, only disclosing the parts that make them look like the one who was wronged. Sometimes people don't share truth to heal. They share it to win, to gain sympathy, to gain power, to protect their image at the cost of your character. Maybe you trusted someone. Maybe you were vulnerable in a moment where you let your guard down, emotionally, physically, even spiritually. Maybe you said yes when you weren't in the right frame of mind because you were scared, under the influence, or compromised in some way. Maybe your action was a trauma response to something you'd already experienced. And instead of being met with accountability or care, you were met with character assassination. Not in your face, but behind your back, through gossip, through silence, or even through strategic omissions. They didn't tell the whole truth, just the version that protected their image or boosted their ego. And in the process, they stripped away everything that showed you were just trying to process the pain and not cause more destruction. Maybe they left out the fact that you didn't seek revenge, you didn't retaliate, you didn't run and try to ruin anyone. You just walked away, quietly. And that silence, it made them uncomfortable, because it meant they lost control of the narrative. But here's the thing, you are allowed to grow beyond the version of yourself that they tried to hold hostage. Just because someone tells the story first doesn't make it true. Just because a group agrees doesn't make it accurate. And just because your silence makes them feel powerful doesn't mean they have the power and you have to stay silent forever. Remember, discernment is protection. In a world where perception is currency, a lot of people speak louder than they should. And more often than not, it's to avoid looking inward or taking accountability. Sometimes the loudest one isn't the most honest. They're just the most hurt, the most guilty, or the most desperate to stay in control. So if something don't sit right in your spirit, you need to trust that. Ask who's talking. Ask why now? And ask yourself what's missing from this information. Because real truth doesn't need to be performed. The truth holds weight all by itself. And then people act confused. Confused about why the subject of their gossip keeps being blessed. Why they're still covered. Still calm even. Still walking in favor. It's because God sees every heart involved. He sees the motive behind the slander. The pride behind the so-called truth-telling. The ego behind the concern. And he also sees your restraint, how you chose peace over performance, how you walked away instead of stooping low. Some people feel safer in groups, but some of us who walk with God, we know his covering is greater than any crowd's opinion. So no, you shouldn't believe everything you hear, because lies echo loudly, but truth moves quietly until it outlasts the noise. Let them talk and let God do his work. And on that note, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Take care of yourself, and remember, God sees all. Peace and love.